So for our listeners, can somebody explain perennialism quickly? I know we talk about this a lot, but
Perennialism is basically, besides that, it's the thing that I discovered before like 99% of the rest of the community, right? Because I lived with them basically for 2 years in GW. They're all perennialists up there, but it's basically this belief that all religions contain some truth and therefore are all avenues from different perspectives, like spokes in a wheel. They're all different spokes in a wheel. And even mutually exclusive concepts and ideas are all relative,
right.
right? So in the same way that we have Hanafi fiqh and Maliki fiqh. So the definition of sunnah, how you define sunnah and how you use it in Islamic, in fiqh, right, in usul of fiqh, is different, because the Prophet ﷺ, he never set down one definition for what the sunnah is, right? So what kind of hadith? Sahih hadith, Amal al-Madina, etc. So that's why we can have relative methodologies and therefore madhabs.
Right.
Well, in the perennialist worldview, theologies themselves are all relative.
Right. So every theology, being a Christian, would just be another madhab. It's just
Basically.
another path, right?
Another path to salvation.
Right.
Or they're basically saying that all these different religious beliefs are all paths to salvation.
Basically.
And let's be clear to anyone listening, this is not correct, right?
Yeah, this is why I told one of these guys, you're not going to celebrate the Mawlid, right? I mean, because how could you celebrate a prophet while insulting him at the same time? He said, wait, how do I insult the prophet? I never insulted the prophet. I said, your theology is the biggest insult to the prophet, peace be upon him. For you to say that he's an add-on, an optional add-on, right? That you could follow the ways of Hinduism, right? You could follow the ways of Christianity, right? In their orthodox forms, as they say, right? You could follow all these ways and be paths to salvation. That means that the Prophet ﷺ is optional. So he's an optional add-on, basically. That's what your theology has rendered the Prophet, peace be upon him. And that's why spirituality, Islam is the umbrella for us, right? Guidance. And then you could focus on spirituality, you could focus on law, you could focus on service, you could focus on different things within the aqidah, all right, of guidance. But for them, no, spirituality is the ultimate umbrella and everything fits underneath that.
Right. And it becomes for lots of people that, do some dhikr, do this, do that, and you're good, right? You just feel good, you're happy, and now you have attained something, right?
Yeah.
I would dispute. Now, it might feel good, and they may think that they're experiencing some joy, but I think that a lot of it comes from this spirituality that's detached from actual religion. A lot of it just comes from, the human soul is made to appreciate beauty. Mm-hmm. And so you sit out in nature, it's beautiful.
Right.
You should all try it one day, right? It is really beautiful
Right.
to go out there before dawn in the woods and you hear the birds. Or, sacred music is beautiful, and it's more beautiful than pop music. So whether it's qasidas or whether it's like Christopher Hitchens, big shaitan, atheist, big promoter of new atheism, and also a big proponent of the war in Iraq, even though he was a liberal before that.
The what?
The war in Iraq.
Oh, the war in Iraq. Okay.
And he was a big liberal before that. Christopher Hitchens...
He's still a proponent of that. He still justifies that.
He's dead now.
Well, yeah.
So
to
hopefully
his death, he did that.
his
Yeah.
death.
Yeah, to his
did,
death.
right.
Yeah, he still argued that it was a good move. Christopher Hitchens, when pressed about, do you think that religion has contributed nothing? He was like, well, the architecture of these cathedrals in Europe is very beautiful. And there's nothing more beautiful than like church choral music. So yeah, the soul appreciates beauty, and it gives you pleasure and it gives you some kind of happiness. But that's all they're getting. It's just very surface. And it's something like, it's just pleasing to the ear, it's pleasing to the eye.
What you're saying is actually something I have in my notes here, is that basically...
It's basically religion appreciation. That's what it is. Like,
It
remember
is.
those classes you took in college where it was like art appreciation? It's like religion appreciation. Like, all right, that's cool, but I don't want to do anything.
I'm not actually going to be an artist or actually going to be a...
Yeah, you're just there to
sacrifice
appreciate
and believe.
it, right?
Yeah, like when you go out and you look at nature and you go, wow. What you should be saying is subhanallah.
Yeah.
Right.
And one of the things that I have in my notes today is that people imagine a type of spirituality, and you're looking and you're thinking, well, a lot of people are spiritual, right? And they're not on Islam or guidance, right? So they might be Buddhist monks, right? Whatever.
Right.
A lot of people out there very calm, or yet you could say that they have a positive energy, etc. And the reason is that you could tap into light. You could tap into spiritual light in two ways. The first way is given to everyone. That's the fitrah, right? Which you're born with it, right? You're born with it, but it has a limitation. The second one is through revelation. And this is why anyone who's predominantly people who go and they recognize and get a taste of the spirituality that results from people practicing. In other words, the taste of people believing and doing the worships that we do in Islam, right? He will never revert to only just fitra-based spirituality, right? So that's why people get fooled and tricked into imagining, wait, spirituality is for everyone. Likewise, intelligence is for everyone. The kuffar could be intelligent,
Right.
Likewise, a kafir, he could be in touch with his whatever organic, holistic, whatever, right? He could be in touch with all that stuff. It should not be confused with guidance, and that's why the starting point here of spirituality is to separate what spirituality is, right, versus guidance, and there's a huge difference
Right.
between the
Absolutely.
two. You could be a guided person, but you're not spiritual. You go in the house, there's plastic and metal everywhere. There are no plants. They're not singing, right? But they're guided, right? They believe in Allah. They're doing the halal. They're praying. They're making dua, right? They're doing all these things, memorizing Quran, but they're just not like spiritual. There's no organic honey or something like that on the shelf.
Right.
You know?
And the thing is though, you have both of these extremes, right?